Mr. Wangchuk had very brilliantly questioned out on this, that this is something which is very important to be addressed nowadays.
So don't you think this is very alarming situation now?
It is, man.
It is a series, Game of Thrones. उसमें एक इंसान आता है भागता हुआ और नॉर्थ की तरफ और सबको बताता है कि डेड आर्मी आ रही है. आई मीन दीज पीपल आर कमिंग एंड कमिंग फॉर श्योर एंड दे आर गोइंग टू किल अस. वो सबको जाके श्योरिटी से बताता है, सबको पता होता है, बट नोबडी डिड एनीथिंग. तो क्लाइमेट चेंज मुझे वही एनालॉजी लगती है.
To answer this question, but knowing about the seriousness of the topic, seriousness of the concern, seriousness.
Now I know that installing such solar panels is very costly, but it is one-time cost. Fine. And when you have installed it, then for your lifetime, and people do not believe it that for 25 years. It was initiative taken by Delhi Public School Udhampur to make small change in our lives so that we can understand that our smaller step can lead to bigger changes and we all together can make this difference. So the institution DPSU, the institution with a difference, with a motive and a vision, is here with a podcast, and I would request all of you to watch this podcast with your family members so that everybody is getting awareness. Thank you so much. Delhi Public School Udhampur, always known for a vision it is pursuing and a mission to bring changes and to contribute towards the society. With the same vision and mission, we all are here. We are a team of students of DPS Udhampur along with the educationists of DPS Udhampur, those who will be talking about the major issue that needs utmost attention of ours as well as the concern of all of you. So yes, we are going to talk about climate change. It is something related to, I think you must have seen the movie or series, I think it is a series, Game of Thrones. उसमें एक इंसान आता है भागता हुआ और नॉर्थ की तरफ और सबको बताता है कि डेड आर्मी आ रही है. आई मीन दीज पीपल आर कमिंग एंड कमिंग फॉर श्योर एंड दे आर गोइंग टू किल अस. वो सबको जाके श्योरिटी से बताता है, सबको पता होता है, बट नोबडी डिड एनीथिंग. सो क्लाइमेट चेंज मुझे वही एनालॉजी लगती है कि वी न्यू इट कि इट इज देयर but we did nothing. I still remember when we people were in the schools, so we used to celebrate one Mahotsav. The teachers to us started saying कि we need to plant one tree every year on our birthdays in spite of cutting the cake. But we paid no such attention because हमने सोचा ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, कुछ नहीं होने वाला. But it is there. The time has come. We need to pay attention to this issue right away. So let's begin with a very simple question. What is climate change? So my question for you is this: can you please in a very simple language explain it to the audience, what is climate change?
Yes, climate change means long terms of changes that the Earth performs, like rising temperatures, shifting seasons, like the storms, melting glaciers, and rising of sea levels. This one is happening fast, and we are the reason. The main reason is we burn a lot of coal, petroleum, and gas. It increases the amount of carbon dioxide in our nature, in our environment.
The atmosphere actually.
That is something that is not appreciated by Earth. It is like capturing the heat. It endorses it. It extremely overheats the Earth and boils it up. That is why we have melting caps of glaciers. That is not appreciated at all. I can give you various examples like heat waves in Delhi, which you cannot walk normally on a sunny day because it is extremely hot, the hot winds, and even it affects our human lives also. We get fever, we get sick because of it. Forest fires, we have seen Australia, we have seen Amazon, they have completely burned down. Along with that, we have seen floods. We have seen floods in Odisha. We have seen floods in Assam. It's a very common thing these days. Even in our Udhampur, it's been raining from the past 1 week continuously with no stoppage. It's very unconventional of the human behavior. It's not appropriate. Thank you.
Absolutely true, Chaitanya. And to make it simple for the audience, I think आप जब अपनी गाड़ी पार्क करते हो, फाइन, बहुत ज़्यादा धूप है, आपने गाड़ी वहाँ पे पार्क कर दी, और जब आप गाड़ी में जाते हो आफ्टर 2 hours or 3 hours, what actually you witness? it is more hotter than the temperature of your surroundings. What it is climate change. And why is it happening? Like Chaitanya said very well, that it is because of the presence of the molecules in the atmosphere that trap this heat and do not let this heat to go back to the atmosphere. हमारे बहुत सारे मॉलिक्यूल्स ऐसे हैं जिसमें से हम मेजर तो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड लेते हैं, बट मीथेन ऑल्सो प्लेज अ वेरी क्रूशियल रोल इन टू इट. सो ये जो हमारे मॉलिक्यूल्स हैं ये एनर्जी को ट्रैप कर रहे हैं. अब सन है, सन से एनर्जी आ रही है, वो ट्रैप हो रही है, मॉलिक्यूल्स ने उसको ट्रैप कर लिया. बट बिकॉज ऑफ सर्टेन वेदर कंडीशंस, लाइक जहाँ पर क्लाउड्स हैं, वहां पर ये ही जो हमारी हीट वेव्स हैं, दे आर नॉट गोइंग बैक. अब अगले दिन भी क्या हो रहा है, वही हीट एनर्जीज दे आर कमिंग, है ना. Accumulation of this heat and energy is causing this much of climate change. So I think you are absolutely true, and we need to do something about it. So Nidhika, climate change is happening everywhere, and we all are talking about it also. Climate change is doing this. I mean, after few years, the people are making assumptions, or what assumptions? I mean, clear statements have been made by these people that some of the cities will submerge into water. So people need to know that this climate change is anthropogenic climate change. Fine, we are causing it. So can you please throw some light upon it for the audience?
Sure, ma'am. Indeed, the anthropogenic means human activities. And surely we are responsible for this climate change. It's not the nature which is responsible, it's completely our fault. Nature has provided us everything that we require in our life. But in return, are we giving it to the same? We are giving it, but we are harming it. We are not giving it the best that the nature deserves. We are giving the harmful effects, the harmful things to the environment. Like, for example, nowadays it's very hot and it's getting hotter day by day. Each one of you use ACs at our homes, right? Because we cannot live without them, no?
Of course.
Yeah, because this is because of the climate change only. Because as the temperature of the environment will increase, it will be unbearable for us to live peacefully in a room, right? And that too under shade also. Because the warm air which is there in the atmosphere, it makes us feel so hot that we require something, and that requirement is from ACs. ACs produce CFCs, right, which is one of the major ingredients to harm the nature. So yes, it's not just because of using ACs for that matter, but yes, vehicles. The nowadays each one of us have our own personal
Of course.
vehicles.
True.
No more travel via
Public
transport.
transport.
Yes, which government is promoting that one should go by public transport, but
But
are we going in?
nobody wants to
No.
use it.
Exactly, because we want our convenience, we want our luxury, we want to maintain our status, right?
Hmm.
So this is because of us that nature is degrading day by day, and we can see its impact very evidently. Like as Chaitanya has already told about the weather pattern that has been changing in Udhampur only. So it is very evident that climate change is not far, and it's not a thing which will come in future. It
Yes.
already happened.
Hmm.
Now we are living in it,
Hmm.
right? As you told a story, right, about games of thrones, even I would like to quote here something that the most common thing that we have among us is our mother nature. It's the most precious thing.
And it is the only planet where
Yes,
human survival is
yes,
possible.
yes. That too, I was reading somewhere one day that even Venus was a planet like ours, but eventually, due to heat effect, it got, the life was not able to be there. The survival went very difficult, and now the Earth is the only planet where life exists, and unfortunately, we are doing that also.
So yes, we can say that we are the only ones
Yes,
that is causing harm to our planet. Though we used to say that it is our mother earth,
yes,
but what we are doing to protect it? Nothing.
nothing.
I mean, a bit by the institutions are being done. Like DPS is also doing something, like creating awareness amongst the people. Like you people used to conduct such kind of awareness drills. The students are also going with the plantation drive. But I think the damage that has been done is much more higher than the contribution we are making. So people need to understand that this is anthropogenic climate change made by all of us. Nature is not responsible. If nature is getting angry and if you people are watching such type of reverse changes, I mean the summers are not that hot, the winters are not that cold, it is because of our activities. We need to take the credibility of this. When we are talking about climate change, I think we need to highlight these issues also, like people says, and it is clear also from this reverse climate change that few cities like Mumbai, Kolkata will become a thing of past. Fine, we will be reading about them in the history only, and the coming future will not get to know that there was a city like Mumbai, a city of dreams itself. And it is because of the climate change itself. I don't want to scare people here, I don't want to create terror amongst them, but yes, I really want them to know the worst to worst situation so that we can do our bit to contribute more to save this planet Earth or to reverse this climate change. So, would you throw some light upon the repercussions of this climate change?
Certainly, ma'am. As Nidhika ma'am has already stated, that climate change is not something in the distant future. It is our actual reality. And I would begin to answer your question by stating a particular instance from our very own country. In the year 2022, in the state of Jharkhand, what basically happened is that the temperature rose to 47 degrees Celsius. That even the students fainted due to heat strokes, the roads melted down, and the schools were shut down, and there was such an alarming situation. So I think this is just the beginning, and there's so much more to come. As per the UN reports, also around 2 billion people will be affected by climate change by the year 2050. So it is certainly an alarming state. And what I think is that the worst applications are not just limited to rising temperatures or melting glaciers. What I feel is that the worst possible scenario is the impact on people, the displacement that they face, the hunger, the conflict that they face. And we are speaking of those climate refugees who have no place to go, and the children who are breathing poison instead of oxygen. Entire cultures are being wiped off because of climate change. And there is so much more possibility to it. But we usually consider climate change as a mundane issue, as
Yes,
like something it doesn't really matter. We do not
absolutely. People were
prioritize
like,
that.
"Okay, ठीक है, हो रहा है,
That's
but it
right.
is not going to affect us." But now it is affecting us.
Yes, ma'am. It is coming at a very alarming state, and it is not a mundane issue, but rather an upcoming reality where we might have to even breathe using oxygen cylinders, and we do not want that for us or our future generations. And we would love to breathe in a free and stress-free environment, and for that, actions need to be taken from now only. That's what I feel, ma'am.
So, climate change is visible, repercussions are also visible. Do we have something to reverse this climate change? Can we reverse it? We really need to talk about it. Let's ask this question to the next key speakers of ours. We all were very much aware about the fact that the mean temperature of the earth is rising by 1 degree Celsius every year. And that was the alarming situation. The people made us aware about the same so that we could do something, because that was the beginning stage. But now the situation is totally different, where these environmentalists and the scientists, they have made this statement a few days ago. I was reading it, that if the temperature, mean temperature of the earth will increase by zero point 0.5 degree, then the situation will out of control. Obviously the glaciers are melting right away also. When it will add up to zero point 0.5 degree, then the speed of the melting of the glaciers will be very high, and the cities will submerge. Obviously we know this fact also, that after 20 years some of the cities will become the thing of past. So would you like to say something about it?
Thank you for the opportunity, ma'am. Before I start with my question, I wanted to say a few things as we all are giving our suggestions from the problems we are facing right now. My suggestion is very simple yet very important. We should get back to our roots. The tapestry of Hindu custom is embedded with respect towards nature, and we inherited it from our forefathers. They taught us different ways to solve this problem in a very yet very natural ways possible. And the most important part about facing this issue is We are not understanding the importance of Indian customs.
True.
The westernization of things are now more problematic. Now we are using more technologies in our day-to-day life that is creating problems. And the rising temperature is one of the reasons why we are facing such issues. And the only solution is that we can go with considering nature as important part of our day-to-day life, and we should preserve it like our forefathers were doing. The environmental ethics are more important, and we should understand that without environment, the human survival is not possible. The custom itself helps us to understand that from reverence of Ganga as mother and helping us understand the worship of trees and thinking them as divine entities, give us the idea that we should secure our nature surroundings. And the most important part is without doing it, we can't do anything right. And whatever steps we are taking, for example, we are doing a lot for the betterment of the environment. But the major problem is we are not understanding the root cause. The root cause, it can be solved with the help of taking our primitive measures.
Absolutely.
And the most powerful and the most reasonable solution can be this going back to our roots. Thank you.
I totally connect with you, sir, when you say that we need to go back to our roots. I seriously connect with it because we know that Indian society has been known, or since beginning we have been doing it. We were worshipping some of the trees of ours, and we were so connected. We read about some tribal communities that used to worship those trees, and when people were cutting those trees, they used to hug those trees because they knew it that the real treasure lies in the nature itself. So very basic solution, I would say, is rooted deep down in the Indian society. Just get back to those roots, start preserving the way the forefathers were doing it for all of us, and I think we can do wonders by doing that. Mountains are crying. This statement caught my attention recently. Runaway climate change is something Sonam Wangchuk ji, the Ladakhi environmentalist, the reformer, the activist, has been speaking about it and wanted the government to pay attention upon it. He was actually focusing upon the exploitation of the Himalayan region. So he went on fast also, so that can grab the attention of the government, so that the government can uh, limit the entry and the exploitation of the people or the resources over there. I need you to speak about it so that people can come to know about this, that what it is basically, what is runaway climate change and why is it important.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for at least asking this question because this concept has been not known to many people.
Yes.
It's just in newspapers or somewhere there in some of the headline. That's it. Runaway climate change. Run away. Okay. This word comprises. It means that when the planet loses the ability to cool it down,
Okay.
when like for example if we have a hot water pan, right, and we are boiling it, okay, we switched off the gas, but still that water has that temperature 100 degrees celsius, and it loses the capacity to cool it down there.
Okay, it will remain
Hot
hotter.
only, yes.
Okay.
Just imagine the situation, even our planet Earth, our Mother Nature, is moving towards that. And Mr. Wangchuk had very brilliantly questioned out on this, that this is something which is very important to be addressed nowadays.
So don't you think this is very alarming situation now?
It is, ma'am, indeed it is, because, and again, I would like to say that it's not something which is going to happen in future.
It is happening right
Yes,
away,
we are living in
affecting
that.
us.
Yes, we are living
People
in
say
that.
that India is the most affected but least concerned about this climate change.
Yes.
I could relate with that.
Unfortunately, it is very true because we as Indians, we somewhat have thoda sa laid back attitude
Yeah,
that okay, I'm not contributing into it.
yeah.
I'm not burning fossils. I'm not, putting that much carbon
It is not
footprints
happening to
to
me.
me.
Yeah,
Directly, it's not
affecting
affecting me,
me.
but we should know this that it will affect us. It is affecting us now only. Look at the weather pattern changing.
Absolutely.
In December, you will not feel that much cold. You will feel a little warmer.
Yeah.
But in December, it used to be snow, right? Weather patterns are changing drastically, and this is a very simple uh, initiative we should take as individuals, that we should plant more and more trees to at least curb it, or at least to put it in a balance. Talking about Mr. Wangchuk, he stated that what the adverse effect will be, that there will be water, but when we are requiring it, it will not be there. When we
Oh.
don't want it, it will be there in the face of floods, for that matter. But when we really want it, there will be
And this
droughts.
is what is happening
And this
all
is what is
around us.
happening.
I mean, the rain required at a particular
Yes.
time is not there.
Yes.
Then, when we don't require it because we want the ripening season, it is raining
And
everywhere
ruining the crops.
and ruining the crops, actually.
Exactly. So, and Mr. Wangchuk was moreover concerned not about just Ladakh. He was stating it all over the world. He was giving a statement to the world that it is indeed the right time to
Yes.
do something. Otherwise, it will be too late for us, and it will be a catastrophic effect for the climate, for that matter. Glaciers melt down, water is there, immense water is there, going into the sea, making our sea water, the sea water is
Yeah.
salty already,
Hmm.
huh? And the pure form of water reaching to the salty water from where we'll drink, right? And the rain which is needed, it is not raining at the right
It is not
time
there.
when it's
Yeah.
required. Our water table is degrading day by day, and it's just a phenomenon of not rise in temperature. It will affect our ecosystem as a whole. Global warming doesn't mean just putting a rise or 1 or 2 degrees Celsius over there, here and there. No, it will affect our ecosystem as a whole. Our species, wildlife species, our coral reefs, they are at a very endangered period. We humans, we cannot sit now in 30 to 35 degrees or 40 degrees Celsius, for that matter. Think about the situation when there will be 60-degree temperature.
I still remember during our childhood in Delhi, when the temperature reaches around 37 or 38 degrees Celsius, we used to shout and yell
Yes.
like anything, oh, it's unbearable. Last year only it has reached 53 degrees Celsius, which is beyond the limit of our survival.
And just imagine what future we are going to give our next generation.
Of
We talk about
course.
sustainable development, but are we doing that? No, we are not.
I think we are doing that, but the height of these goals
Yes.
or initiatives are not that much high. That is why we are not reaching to that point.
Yes, because the individual is not aware about it.
Yes.
Government is making policy. Like for example, our prime minister had said that by 2047 we will be curbing our net. We'll be on net zero emission. Carbon footprint will be zero from Indian side. But the individual who has to put little steps, they are not aware that it is
Yes.
actually a matter of concern.
Basically, it is not about that people are not doing it or they don't want to do it, but the reality is they are not aware about it. They would certainly do it because ultimately it is causing harm to them or their upcoming generation. So, the basic thing, first of all, we need to do is to spread awareness amongst them. They will be certainly doing and taking those steps, I hope. And if I talk about this, I think tourism is also responsible for exploitation of these regions. I mean, especially I would like to talk about mountainous regions. During the summer vacations, we all make plans. And most of the time, it is on the beaches or on the mountains itself. So I think tourism also needs certain policies to be amended by the government so that we can protect these areas and the regions.
See, everything has pros and cons,
Hmm.
right? Uh, when after post COVID, Ladakh have removed the restrictions from inner line permit because they wanted tourists to come to their place and generate economy.
Yes.
Because 60% of their economy comes from tourism
And
only.
that's the very
And
basis.
that's very basic, right? So, and the government now they are of the thought that we can restrict the tourism. We cannot stop it, but at least we can restrict it.
Yes.
We can limit it,
Yes.
right? And then we can have a sustainable tourism should be there. like as Mr. Bangchu has said about ice stupas to be there, and different opportunities to be provided in other sectors other than tourism, so that people will be depending on some other activities rather than just only dependent on tourism for that matter. Then we can have technological advancement which will not harm the nature in that particular manner which is harming right now. So according to me, it's like the government is making the policy, but the implementation should be at par. The people of that area should be very much aware about what is to be done and how, in how much quantity is to be done. So yeah, that's it.
So the government is doing their bit, but the cooperation from our side is
Yes,
needed.
needed.
As you said, I would like to highlight this also, that this Sonam Wangchuk ji, he is doing a great job in this area. I mean, the water conservation, water scarcity is a problem everywhere.
Everywhere.
है ना? We cannot deny that. It's a situation, we need to deal with it. So he is doing a fantastic job, commendable job, where he is teaching people over there how to conserve water, because already the water is very limited. Then this invention of ice stupa, that is very very important, that the people should get to know. Moreover, he has made lot many reforms in the educational sector, because education is the only weapon, guys, by this tool only you can bring desirable changes. And if you want to reverse this situation, where we are not able to deal with this present situation, and we want the previous days to come again, where the weather was very happy. Today to we say that weather is very angry upon us, that is why the climate is angry, the situation is because of this only. We can make that change happen together.
What the thing is that everywhere we see that and we listen that the third world war is going to be on
Water
water.
itself, yes.
Because most of the countries are draining out water.
Yeah.
They do not have water anymore.
Zero water
Zero
countries
water
are there.
countries are there. So let's hope and pray that it never comes to our country.
Yes.
And we should, again, we should take at least little steps to reduce our footprint.
I mean, I know the countries where the government is saying that we cannot do anything to provide you the water requirements. I think we are fortunate enough not to live in those countries, that we are living in Indian society where the government is really keen and concerned about our needs. But yes, the time has come where we need to conserve the water. Do not waste even a single drop of water. And by doing that, trust me that you people will be contributing much towards the environment. It can be an interesting fact for many. I mean, getting to know that consumption of meat products can deteriorate the condition of your planet. When I came to know about it, I was very surprised and shocked at the same time, that even if I'm doing nothing to harm and pollute the environment, and I am just consuming the meat products, somehow, somewhere, I'm contributing towards the deteriorating condition of this earth. I want you to throw some light upon it, so that our audience can come to know that yes, non vegetarians to some extent are causing harm and damage to the planet.
Well, thank you, ma'am, for asking me such an interesting question. Being a hardcore non-vegetarian, I am literally a little bit surprised to answer this question, but knowing about the seriousness of the topic, seriousness of the concern, seriousness of the issue, that climate change is quite concerning and alarming issue right at the moment. Absolutely, it's too much right that the non-vegetarians, to some extent, do contribute towards the climate change. They do affect the environment. I would like to throw some light on the key points from where the people and the audience can make some connections, that how these areas are contributing towards the climate
Yeah,
change.
because I want you to throw light at how we are
Exactly.
doing that.
Exactly. So let's talk first about the green house gas emissions. And if we talk about the livestock farming, so livestock farming is the major contributing factor towards the greenhouse gas. And if we talk properly about the greenhouse gas, that's the methane, and which is 25% more potent than carbon dioxide if we talk it about for 100 years of time. And secondly, if you talk about livestock farming, so they need to be reared, they need to be fed,
Yes.
and for feeding, definitely deforestation is required.
Of course.
And if you talk about Amazon rainforest, so you know that thing, such a constant pace, such a pace, they are being cut down. They are being cut down to just create a pasture lands for these livestock, so that the people can grow feed crops for the livestock. And what is happening over here, the deforestation is taking place, and whatever carbon dioxide that is trapped is somehow being released into the atmosphere. And when it is being released into the atmosphere, it is ultimately resulting into the climate change.
Change.
Next, as Nidhika ma'am said, that the Third World War will definitely be fought
On
after
water,
water.
of course.
So let me give you an interesting fact over here. Just to produce 1 kg of meat requires nearly about 1500 liters of water.
That's very huge amount. I
It's
mean,
really a huge
actually,
amount.
for the consumption of humankind, we are not having this much of amount of water
Exactly.
available, and the groundwater is also decreasing day by day.
Definitely. And
So,
if we compare it with just for the 1 kg of vegetables, it's just requiring 300 to 500 liters. Now, though it's a
okay,
matter of choice for the people
of
what diet
course.
they want to follow, but we can see from here, being a hardcore non-vegetarian, even I am concerned about this thing. If just for producing 1 kg of meat is requiring 1500 liters of water, why should not I somehow shift my diet towards being a vegetarian? But that's a secondary thing for the people to choose what they want to have or not. But we must be concerned right at the moment that the climate is being deteriorating right at the moment. Next, if we talk about land use,
Yes.
so near about 80% of the global land that is being used by livestock farming.
Oh my God.
80%, and which is nearly too much less than the agriculture. And if you talk about more of this thing, only a small portion of the calories is being utilized from non-vegan diets.
Hmm.
Is it or not?
Yes.
And lastly, if you talk about pollution, water and pollution, so the cow dung, or we can say the waste product that is being released by
But
the
people say
livestock,
that cow dung is suitable for agriculture and
it's
farming.
suitable for agriculture, but if it's not managed properly,
Okay.
if the waste is not managed properly,
Okay.
it will definitely harm our lakes, it will definitely harm our rivers, contributing it towards the pesticides we are doing towards the this. And when we are doing this agriculture, the pesticides are also being used. So if
Yes.
not managed properly, they will definitely pollute our lakes, rivers, and everything, and which finally will somehow conclude towards the climate change.
So when the people were more concerned about these rainforests being burned, I would like to say that it was done deliberately by this beef industry, the meat industry, especially the red meat industry, so that they can create pasture land. Fine,
Exactly.
because they need a huge amount of pasture land to be created for their livestock. So when we think that being non-vegetarian, we are not causing much harm, we need to rethink about it. Yes, we are harming the environment, and we will be responsible for the choices we make. I think if I say that shift your preferences and choices, that would not be right. Fine, but somewhere people can be asked that if they can limit this, automatically the reverse to this can happen. So we, me, you, we all together can make these changes happen. Are you ready for that? We have been speaking about this climate change, the repercussions. The people must be really horrified about it, and this is not what my target is. I mean, I don't want to horrify people about that this will happen, that will happen. If this step will not be taken, then devastation will take place. There must be something we can do in regard to this. Can we reverse this climate change, Prankush?
Well, ma'am, if we need to reverse climate change, first we need to understand that the Earth has so much, so less to give us every year. Well, as greedy as we can be, we take more than our fair share. The Earth provides every human being with 1.7 global hectares every year, but we human beings use 2.8 global hectares. That's more than 25% that Earth has provided. Well, and if we talk about global status, America, the biggest country, the superpower, it uses one fourth of the global resources.
This is very important to highlight, Prankush. People need to know about it.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, America only has 13% of the world population, but still it's one of the major countries to use
Yes,
the resources.
consumption.
And taking on a different side, the Asian countries do not pollute the air that much, but they pollute the land, the water. They don't use resources that much, but we are the main cause of pollution in our environment. And even in our religion, we say that Lakshmi Mata, she comes to our home when it is clean.
Yeah,
But we don't keep our surroundings clean. We pollute the earth, we pollute the water.
very nice statement. I mean, a statement to be highlighted over here that we keep our houses clean so that Mata can come and visit us and stay there. But what about the planet? It is
Yes,
getting
ma'am.
deteriorated day by day.
So, ma'am, according to me, the solution to this problem has two steps.
Okay.
The first step being mitigation. We need to mitigate and we need to decrease the use of greenhouse gases.
Mm-hmm.
We need to decrease the use of plastic substances. We need to decrease the use of substances which hamper our environment, which harm our environment. And still we are using it. Even if we know we are using it, people need to understand that this issue is a global issue. It is not a issue that should be not taken seriously.
Or taken care by you and me only, or by
Yes,
one
ma'am.
government
Yes,
only.
ma'am. So, and the second step is adaptation.
Okay.
We still use primitive resources, for example, non-renewable resources. We know that because we think that we don't have an alternative, but we do have. We have solar energy, we have electricity, we have thermal energy, we have tidal energy. But these energies and these resources are still underdeveloped. The government should put in more resource and more funding to develop these resources so that people can know about them. Well, ma'am, in the end, I would like to say that these resources should be developed so that people and everyone know that there are resources against the non-renewable resources which we can use to help our environment.
And this is very surprising, Prankush, that we are the country that is surrounded by water from three sides. Okay, so we have ample of water resources. Same is applied to the cause that we have solar resources available because the heat in our country is quite higher than the other countries. You take the example of Russia, where you would not be able to see sun over there, but sun is visible here every day. We can trap this energy, we can utilize this energy, and without depending upon the primitive measures, if we start utilizing them, I think we can make some changes to certain great extent. Guys, I got to know this and I would like to share it with you all, that the things we are doing at home can cause devastation to the planet, like the way you are cutting your Maggie packet or the way you are cutting your milk packets in a triangle shape. Most of us does that. Okay, when you are cutting it in a triangle shape, that small piece is causing a lot of harm to the water resources of us. So just by making little change in our daily life, if you start cutting it in a right way, because taking care of a big packet is very very easy for the disposable purposes, for disposal purpose itself. But when these small plastic contents get merged with water resources or with land, they are deteriorating and very hard to find. So when you think that we cannot do anything, it is the thing to be done by the government, we are completely wrong here. You and me, we all can do everything to make this planet again as it was earlier. I hope you remember during this COVID time, the Ganga, it was getting clean, we were not doing it. Then the environment, even the AQI level of Delhi was quite natural, and लोगों को लगने लगा कि यार हवा में कुछ है, वो प्योरिटी थी। और दिल्ली के लोगों को इतनी प्योर हवा की बिल्कुल आदत नहीं थी। तो ऐसा भी हुआ, एटमॉस्फेयर कैन क्लीन इटसेल्फ। हमें नेचर के लिए कुछ नहीं करना है, हमारी जो मदर अर्थ है, हमें इसके लिए कुछ भी नहीं करना है। हमें अपने वेज को बदलना है, वो अपने आप को खुद हील कर सकती है। हमारी एक पर एनम कैपेसिटी है दैट हैज बीन डिसाइडेड बाय द अर्थ, हैज बीन टोल्ड यू बाय प्रांकुश। वी नीड टू जस्ट गो बाय दैट। अगर उस कैपेसिटी के बियॉन्ड जाएंगे, then it is harmful. So Jewish, I would like to come to one interesting question. A lot has been said, lot has been debated. People have given their measures also. They have gone with lengthy elaboration of what should be done, what should not be done. Coming to this question is the interesting part, and I seriously love asking this question. Do you think that it can be manageable by you and me only, or do you think that the involvement of politicians or policies also should be there?
Certainly, ma'am, you have raised a wonderful question because politics is indispensable part of our life. It can't be separated from our life.
Yeah.
Yes, and we can't avoid it. And what we generally do, we avoid talking about it, and it's very, it's indispensable part. We can't displace it. So coming back to the question that you asked me, yes, I do agree that it's not just me and you, it's we.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
we have to be very collective while doing any such things, while taking any measure. While coming to the politics has a major role to play in it.
Yeah, I also think the same way that if all alone we would be doing it, take the case of Sonam Wangchuk ji.
Yes, ma'am.
He also wants the involvement of the government so that the environment can be protected.
Yes, ma'am. Political involvement is very crucial, I would say that. And also, it's not just involvement, it's an initiative that we will be taking. And also, it's not just, just policies that we are making and just we are making laws and all. It's all about what we are following, right? And also, if I take like without political will and leadership, it's not gonna work because they need to drive on a large scale. That will be only through policy making and also through laws, rule and regulations as well. And for an instance, let's take an example of government of India.
Yes.
A lot of initiatives have been taken place and also they are implemented. So yeah, but there is a one thing that is disappointing me, to be honest. That is that mining activities and such infrastructure, urban expansion is also the thing that is coming from the leader itself, right? But it is for our betterment.
And
I
it is
do
the
agree.
need of the hour
Yes, ma'am,
also.
I do agree about with that. But that should take place in such a way that it do not harm our mother earth.
Sustainability you are
Yes,
talking
ma'am.
about.
Yes, ma'am. I'm talking about the sustainability.
Okay. So I think the government is doing much for all of us, and more involvement of the government will make the condition more better and better. I'll come to the next question with this that is actually somehow interlinked with this question. Dinesh sir, as we have reached to the end of this podcast, I really want you to highlight this because people should get to know about PM Surya Ghar Yojana. Only few people are aware about it. That is to our greatest surprise. I was talking to someone recently about this that it will reduce the cost of the electricity. Now I know that installing such solar panels is very costly, but it is one time cost. Fine. And when you have installed it, then for your lifetime, and people do not believe it that for 25 years, next 30 years, their electricity will become free. And the most interesting part is, which people should get to know, is subsidy. The government used to provide subsidy for that. And after 25, 35 years, I can foresee that most of the houses will be solar panel house because it is the need of the hour. So I really want you to make the audience aware about this, particularly because it is a major measure taken by the government, great initiative rather.
Ma'am, government initiative is a very great step in order to produce electricity domestically. And domesticization of electricity and energy is a great step because people are not relying on conventional sources right now. They will have another options because we are shifting towards from a common convention country to hybrid model country. We are using vehicles that are electricity supported. We are using cars that are using batteries as a main energy source. So we understand that government is doing everything that is making the dream possible to make it a very green and very lively country. The dependence upon conventional resources are increasing day by day in Western countries as well. But it is good to see that our government is taking the initiative. And it was earlier, it was very difficult for the people those who are from the middle class families
Yes, absolutely.
and for the normal house families to
Yeah.
go for these installation of solar panels. But now government is doing everything to make possible that people will get that financial boost and financial push. And this is the way you can understand the initiative of the government. Ma'am, I wanted to include a few points with this as well. As we've talked about it, that we should get back to our roots.
Yeah.
In our culture, we are fond of enhancing the idea that we wanted to harness the energy of sun. We do Surya Namaskar, we chant Gayatri Mantra, we do Surya Puja as well. So, in that particular part and activity and ritual, we wanted to harness the energy. The purity of sun is the need. But
At the back of our mind, we know the importance of sun and its energy basically.
yes, ma'am. And this is the way now. At earlier times, it was not possible because of the unavailability of
Resources,
technologies. But now
yes.
government is making progress in every field to create an infrastructure for the people to enjoy the luxuries of having their own options and having their own domesticization of electricity. And this is the way I am seeing our future in our bright hands. And for 30 to 40 years, people who are right now taking the decision will get benefit surely. And this is the point of view that we should all go for green made energy sources, because our resources are very less in number and quantity as
Yes.
well. So the smart choice will be the right choice, and the right choice is the only choice right now. Thank you.
Okay. So, highlighting this issue where the government is taking initiative, we also need to cooperate with the government. I was talking to somebody, the people were saying, ki, ma'am, 2 lakh cost budget is there, and the government is providing subsidy for 30 and 40% only. But imagine from day one, I would like to make it little simpler for everybody to understand. The day one you are installing it, it will of course cost you 2 lakh rupees, but from next month your electricity will be free. Imagine if you are having the electricity bill around 2000, 2500, or 3000, it will go down, and from after this particular phase, after 5 years, it will be free of cost. And the lifespan of solar panel, you know that it is more than 30 years, 35 years. So when you people doubt upon these policies, that makes the situation worse. So this is all for today.